Hello, hello. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be working on today, but it's going to be a commission for my rep. So I'm going to be doing some pen and ink work, I think, or maybe even brush work, maybe even markers if the mood strikes. My cat is sitting in the window looking at something really intently. What's up, Sesame? Hey, what's up, Johnny? Thanks, man. I didn't make the music myself, though. Hey, what's up, Edgar? Let's do like a little poll. I want to do a popular character because it's a commission. And what do you guys think, Marvel or DC? Let's start there. Well, the paper is it's 11 by 17, but it looks larger because of the way it's framed. See, this is my hand in front of the paper. Oh, I'm so glad you like the music choice. What is the music choice? Oh, it's a chill synthwave. It's chill wave. Ooh, Nightcrawler, Eric, coming out the gate with a strong one. Ooh. Yeah, I could go for some Nightcrawler for sure. The Penguin, says Johnny. Well, that is a good idea, Johnny, but I just did a Batman piece, so I want to do something, I want to spread out my tendrils a little bit and see if I'm trying to see where my audience is. Oh, thank you for the note. I'm going to lower the music now. Is that better? Here, I'll even go a little bit lower. You're leaning. I'm sorry that I'm leaning weird. It's because the the drawing thing that I'm using is very large and it's literally covering my screen. I'm gonna have to just do one of these. I don't know why I didn't do this earlier. There you go. Now I've got you in my clutches. Nightcrawler, yeah, that's feeling strong. Awesome. I'm glad that the audio is improved. Yeah, Nightcrawler. Yeah. Maybe I'll do two characters. What do you guys think about Nightcrawler and a second? Okay, so we've got Nightcrawler. Let's do a second X-Man with that. What do you think? Nightcrawler and who? You want to do one of the girls, like Rogue, who's one of my favorites? Or do you want to do like Nightcrawler and like Colossus, who's another one of my favorites? I love Colossus. But I want to know what you guys think. Nightcrawler's definitely in it. We've all agreed that now. I don't think I've ever drawn him before, actually. So I'm going to have to look him up to make sure I got a Nightcrawler and Storm, says Eric. I do like Storm. Nim says Nightcrawler and Rogue. Edgar says Black Mirror seems pretty similar to Nightcrawler design-wise. Maybe a little bit. He doesn't wear tights. And Nightcrawler's blue. And has a little more... Nightcrawler tends to look more human with a little bit of... He's more like vampiric He's like sexy. His skin is a different color, but he's like essentially human with little fangs. I think, if anything, if you want to compare him to anyone, I would compare Black Marrow to Beast, like Hank McCoy, because he really does kind of look like the way that he's sometimes drawn. So if now I'm thinking maybe this a vertical piece or a horizontal piece. So we'll try horizontal. We'll try it widescreen, right? Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm getting an image in my head now of of Rogue and Nightcrawler. Let's make that work. What do you guys think? All right. first phase of these images is me erasing it several times. So, Socrates, is that how you say it? If that's your name, that's hilarious. Socrates says, it was a great stream yesterday. Thank you, man, or woman, or whomever. Thank you for saying that. It was really nice to be back, and I'm really glad you guys enjoyed it. And here I am again, giving you more of me talking into a cheap microphone. People can't get enough of the cheap microphone. It's not that cheap. It's like a $20, I don't know, Apple microphone or something like that. Or it's a Google one. I don't really know. But I appreciate you saying that, and I'm glad you're here again today, watching me erase this over and over. Eric says, what paper do you recommend? I am currently using Bristol board, which is what I use for pretty much all my comic art, variations of Bristol. This one is one of the more expensive Bristols that they, the Strathmore Bristol paper that they offer. Strathmore, remember that? It's one of the pricier ones, but it's because it's better for multiple mediums, because I don't know if I'm going to paint over this one or not. And if you do use gouache or something, this is a really good one to use for that. Whereas some of the others aren't really made to hold on to that much like wet media. But I mostly I use like vellum. I really love vellum Bristol, which is, it's the same as this, except it's a really toothy paper. It's really rough, and it's got a nice parchment feel, which is really good. And that one, it's like 20 something bucks. It's not that expensive for like 20 sheets. It's like $1 a sheet. Yeah, I recommend that. I mean, I know some people probably pay for even fancier stuff, but I don't really have a need for that. Nim says, I got a jet. I have to go do some work as the pirate this evening, but I can't wait to see how this piece turns out. Also, gonna leave a like on the video before I go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, guys, please. That helps me out when you leave a like. I'm gonna put a little sign at the bottom that requests people leave a like. because it really helps. Gross Girl says Strathmore's good. Hey, what's up, Gigi? She says I haven't used vellum yet. Does it take liquid? Yeah, it's good. I mean, the Strathmore makes a vellum paper, and it is very good. It is just a little bit rougher, and it holds on to ink in a similar way. It's just sometimes it takes more ink to get more distance. But if you're working in like pen, it's really nice if you want like a scratchy texture to your final inks because it's so toothy. But that may not be what you want. So, but yeah, try it. I mean, I love it. Sorry, I'm yawning, guys. Gigi says, "Is this for the art collector or for fun?" Yeah, this is for the guy who does my who reps my art. He just said, "Anything you want, just keep making it, and I'll keep selling it." So, I sold my first 2 pieces right before the wedding. So now I'm like, "Yeah, cool. I'm gonna just keep going." Edgar says, "How come I figured out how to color line art at the exact point in my art career where I'm fine not coloring any lines?" How did you figure it out? You watched a tutorial? Eric says, "Have you checked out the manga series Witch Hat Altair?" Yes, I have. I have a copy of it. It's incredible line art. The quality of the art is shockingly good. Yes, it is. It's inspired me to return to traditional media. Yeah, the Witch Hat Atelier. I don't know how to say it. I bought it purely for the art. I've never read it. I just love looking at the line work. The line work is some of the best I've ever seen. Honestly, it's so incredibly good. Like, it's shockingly good quality, and it's totally consistent. Like, throughout the entire book, I only have 1 volume of it, but throughout the entire thing, it never falters. It's never like, oh, this was a page where they rushed it. It's like, it's consistently beautiful. It's perfect. Yeah, what's up, Comicking 2009? Yes, this is X-Men. I'm doing an X-Men commission for my art rep. Yeah, it started with Nightcrawler and Rogue, and then I was like, oh, I should add Cyclops too, and maybe I'll add a few more. But every time I add one, the price of it's going to go up, so I have to consider the fact that I want to keep it in a certain price range. But I don't know, maybe I'll just go for it and see if anybody bites, even if it's going to be like a pricier piece because it's got like 4 or 5 major characters in it. I don't know. But thank you, thanks for being here. I don't think I've ever done this much erasing at the beginning of a piece. I must be challenging myself with these poses. Yeah, usually I'm a little faster, but I don't know. This is like, I guess it is kind of a challenging thing to have this many, and I've been working digital for a while. So you guys have seen me do some of my other traditional pieces, and I think for some reason the format of this one is just sometimes a piece just takes a little more fussing in the early phases. It's just how it is. Also, my chair is especially noisy today, so I hope you guys can appreciate that. Because I know there's always some of you that come here specifically for the noise, for the chair noise. I mean, I know who you guys are. You know who you are. The subset of my viewers who are just like, yeah, this was a good one, Ryan, but your chair didn't creak enough. I didn't get enough of a sense of how little the WD-40 you used was working. I need to know how ineffective it is. Well, today this stream is for you. I do need to, I really want to get a new chair. And now that I'm done, we're finishing up paying for the wedding, I think this month. For those of you who are new here, I just got married this past weekend. And we're like paying the last bits for the wedding, I think. And then after that, we should be good to start getting. I was going to put a new chair on my registry for the wedding. But my wife was like, nah. The registry is for like things like household stuff, not like work stuff. But I was like, my work stuff is my household stuff. For I work from home. Thanks, man. So I need to rotate Cyclops' head upward because whichever direction he's looking is where the laser goes, the optic blast. Although technically I don't know if it's a laser because it's not heat-based. But yeah, so that means he's always got to be looking exactly where it's going to go. And if he's looking down the way I had him before, the blast goes down, and then we lose this nice horizontal line that we get. Comic 2009 says, but hopefully when I think, sorry, I missed something. You say I'm hoping, I'm English maybe isn't your first language, so it's a little awkward reading this. I'm going to try to, my hoping on being a comic manga artist. I love drawing since I was born and hoping on making some awesome stories. That's great. Were you born in 2009? Is that why that's in your thing? So you're like I don't know, how old are you now? Like a teenager, right? But hopefully when I think I'm ready, I make something awesome that people will love as much as I would love making it. I think that's what you're trying to say. Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, right? You want it to be something that people get excited reading it, just as excited as you were making it. That's like it's the dream. Let's see. But yeah, keep it up. In fact, okay, yeah, at some point I kind of want to see your work. And what kind of stuff are you drawing right now? Edgar says, hi, Comic GG, Artie, and whoever else is lurking in the shadows. Eric says, do you have any experience inking with old school dip pen, nib, or with Kolinsky sable brushes? Yeah, I have a sable brush. I have a Winsor Newton brush that I use, and I've actually used on a couple of commissions in the past few weeks. As far as the dip pen, I have used that, and will occasionally use it to ink. And it feels good when I'm using it, but the final product is never quite as good as when I'm working with either a mechanical pen or a brush. I don't know. It's just one of those inventions. It's one of those situations where like I get the attraction to the old ways, and I want to support that because that's kind of like my flavor as well. Like I like that stuff. But yeah, when I use a typical like a Micron or something, my work is way sharper, way better to look at. I just have much more control over the image. And when I'm using a dip pen, it's like I enjoy doing it. It feels good when I'm doing it, and then I look at the end and I'm like, oh, this is sloppy. So yeah, that's kind of my attitude toward that. You know, it's funny, Comic 2009, you're talking about dark fantasy western. That's literally the thing that I just published this year. If you're curious about it, there's a link. And I'm not trying to make you buy the book. I just wanted to share this with you because you're talking about this genre that I'm literally working in. The link in my bio, the link rather in the description of the video has a link to my comic. You can see what it is. It is a dark fantasy western, so it's just kind of funny. Kind of funny. This is like the roughest of rough sketches. Like, woof, is it rough? Johnny says, there is a character in this Dragonlance book that I'm reading named Tasselhoff Burfoot. That's hilarious. Yeah, that is quite a name. Comic says, I think Cyclops looks awesome. Yeah, I love Cyclops. I think Cyclops is like, he might even be my favorite character. 90s X-Men, first of all, is maybe my favorite stuff ever. I love those comics. Probably the most fun I've ever had reading comics as a kid was reading X-Men. I just think they're incredible. They're awesome. They're like everything I loved about comics. The escapism, the self-insert quality while still not being too pandering, the action, when Chris Claremont was writing, it was super exciting and intelligent writing, really respected my intelligence as a kid. And Scott Summers to me was like the coolest. I absolutely love Cyclops. I never understood the hate that he got from people. Like when the movies came out in the late 90s, early 2000s, and they made Cyclops into such a weenie, and they made him like literally the butt of every joke, I was always like, why are they doing that to this character? Like, why does Bryan Singer hate this character so much? And then I found out Bryan Singer was an actual predator. And that's probably why. That's why guys like that don't like characters that are sort of conventionally morally good. That's what I think. I think they literally see it as like, he would get in the way of my fun because I like to have creepy parties. And that's all Bryan Singer is to me. I think people talk about like, oh, he's made some good movies. It's like, I don't care at all. I think he's a monster. He's a disgusting person. Sorry, I don't mean to go off on a tangent there, but I never liked him after seeing what he did with Cyclops and then finding out that he was a piece of crap was like weirdly satisfying in a cynical way. It's like, oh right, yeah. Of course you who hates this character would be for a reason where you maybe subconsciously feel attacked by that character because he's very morally upstanding and you're a sociopath. Whatever's wrong with Bryan Singer. The fact that he's not in prison is really bizarre to me. Like, he got canceled, kind of. Slowly over time he got canceled, but like really he should be in jail. With Harvey Weinstein, who was recently released, I guess. Enough about him. Enough about the dregs of society that inhabit Hollywood. Or at least some of Hollywood. You also asked what's the story about Black Marrow? Black Marrow is it's a comic book about a gunslinger, cowboy werewolf who kills monsters and demons and ghouls and stuff. And it's in like kind of like the Wild West, but it's like spooky Halloween Wild West. Just you just check out the link on the website. You'll see the cover and you'll know exactly what it's about the minute you look at the cover because it's one of those things that just, I don't know, it's very quick communication. Eric says, how do you feel about the wait 1 second, I skipped something. Ryan, when you stop and look at the chat, it looks like you're witnessing something perplexing. Because I am witnessing something perplexing. Technology is shocking to me. I'm from a different time. You understand? You might see me squinting because the computer is kind of like off on the side, which might explain my look of utter bewilderment. How do you feel about the conundrum of being focused versus being versatile in your career? For example, should an artist be open to unexpected career avenues or focus on one? Well, I don't know. He said as he dropped his marker. I feel that I'm somewhat focused. Like I've mostly done comics, but I also made a living doing other stuff in the meantime, like storyboards. And is that what you mean, or do you mean like really like soft focus where you're just all over the place? It's good to have focus, but also I don't think you want to be so focused that you miss opportunities when they come up. You know, because your life is interesting. It's funny. There's people who think they're going to be doing one type of art, and then they find that they get utterly accepted into a different type of art, and people just want them there. So keep that in mind. But for me, I mean, I've always wanted to do comics, and I've always liked comics, and that was it for me. And even though I learned other things and did other things, I still would always come back to comics, even though there's less money in a lot of cases and more work. And I just love it. Comic says, I've been collecting X-Men for a year now. When I got Jim Lee X-Men #1, my mind was blown. I love collecting X-Men from the 80s and 90s. Right? Dude, Jim Lee in the 90s is Jim Lee now, I mean, he's good, whatever. I'm not as thrilled by his work as I was with his X-Men work in the 90s. It's absolutely beautiful. It's like, I don't know. It's just the way it's inked too. I really like. It's very substantial inking. It's really nice looking. I forgot. I think it might have been Jay Williams who inks him, or Scott Williams. I mean to say. I forget which of them it is. Yeah, I completely agree with you about Brian. I'm not a diehard Cyclops fan, but I do love the character quite a lot. Yeah, I do too. I think he's great. Oh, Wolverine's great, man. I love Wolverine. Yeah, you're saying you're a diehard Wolverine. I think Wolverine's great. I just think he gets a lot of love, in the movies. Like almost all the love in the movies. Like every movie's about Wolverine for the most part, with a few exceptions. And I love him. He's great. He's one of my favorites. He's one of the all-time best fictional characters ever created. But I've always just loved Cyclops and wished that they would explore in the movies like what makes him a great leader and why him and Wolverine play off each other really well. It's not because Wolverine's cool and Cyclops isn't, It's because Wolverine is all about like chaos and emotion, and Cyclops is like logic and order, and that's why they have so much friction. And they're both really good men, but in very different ways, which is why the love triangle with Jean Grey works really well in the comics and the cartoon, because both of those guys are impressive. It's not like, in the movies, the love triangle is really stupid and it's flat, because it's like Jean Grey, it's like, oh, who are you going to choose? The guy who's awesome at everything and cool all the time? Or the guy who they dress up like Mr. Rogers and never has anything interesting to say or do? Gee, which of these two guys has her heart? It's like, it's such a boring love triangle, because they don't let Cyclops be awesome. They don't let him like be impressive. Instead, it's like they purposefully keep him in a little box where he's just there to be like pooped on. I just don't understand. Other than they just think Wolverine, it's like they completely misunderstood the material, where they think it's all about Wolverine being a badass and everyone else is there to juxtapose what a badass he is. And it's not. He's supposed to fit into an ensemble. My cat is scratching. You see him in the corner of the screen? He's like scratching on my leg. You want to jump in my lap? Go ahead. You want to say hi to everybody? You guys want to say hi to my cat? Let me know. He's looking right at me. So we can keep talking for a minute while I hold my cat. Let's see. One of my apps, Artie says, one of my absolute favorite depictions of the X-Men are the Capcom ones from Marvel vs. Capcom. Yeah, dude. I've been watching YouTube playthroughs of those, because I just think that they're so beautiful. Like, want to say hi? I don't know if that counts. He said something. You want to go down? Okay, he wants to sit in my lap just like that. Um, yeah, I think I agree with you, Artie. They're incredible. The Japanese absolutely nailed it. They're amazing. They're really good with Western characters. My cat is now standing on me, looking out the window. And he bites my face and my house. Get down. All right, he's lost his privileges. Pardon me. The designs in those games are so good. Yeah, they're incredible. Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and X-Men versus Street Fighter, which was the first, I believe, which is like, again, absolutely awesome. Oh, the screen is ajar. Because of the cat. He must have knocked something loose. Let's see. Eric says Wolverine's costume is yellow with blue accents. Cyclops' costume is blue with yellow accents. They each understand that they are bringing something unique while still complimenting each other. Eric, my goodness, I could kiss you on the mouth. But don't tell anybody I said that because I'm trying to get monetized and I'm pretty sure that's harassment. But yes, it's awesome. It's great. I love it. The X-Men were never really meant to be standalone characters. They're meant to be a team. They're meant to work off of each other. Yeah, X-Men is the best. I agree. Of Jim Lee's art, it's I think it's his best work. And he talks about that stuff now like he's embarrassed by it because I guess the way he drew women was silly, like they were hypersexualized, which, I agree. They were a little over the top in their poses. But the way he rendered and inked is so solid and beautiful. And his stuff now, like I said, it's good, but there's a kind of scratchiness for scratchiness sake. Oh, Mom's calling. I'll call her back later. Everybody wants to call after the wedding and see how I'm doing. I hope that's what it is. My grandma's also, very old, so every time my mom calls, I worry that it's the big one for grandma. She's like 90 something. Let's see. My favorite X-Men character of all time is Magneto. He's my favorite Marvel villain personally. Yeah, sure. Hey, what's up, Carlos? Oh, that might be a good. Carlos says, could you draw Invincible? I absolutely should at some point because he is a popular character right now. And Gigi says, yo, Spaceball 2 is confirmed. Who's going to be in it, though, Gigi? Who's directing? Oh my God, Rick Moranis is returning. Mel Brooks is alive. What? I did not know. I actually thought Mel Brooks was. I didn't think he was dead, but I thought he was done directing. He's like super old. He's alive, but by the time Spaceballs 2 comes out in 2020, I don't think you mean 2021. I think you mean 2027. He'll be 101. This is his last movie. Dude's a World War II vet. Oh, wow. I guess I should have assumed that. Excuse me, guys. Allergies. I've returned. I don't know where I put my glove. I put my glove on a random table in the other room. Let's see. Thank you, Artie, for saying God bless you. You know, as a first timer being here, this is pretty neat. Oh, cool, man. I'm glad you're having a good time. These are my friends here in the chat. They're pretty nice to everybody. They were very welcoming to me when I first came into this whole community. The classic love disappearing trick. Just so you guys know, I can go for like another 20 minutes and then I'm going to have to leave to pick up my wife from work. She's my wife now, and I have to say it every time that I'm streaming. Sorry. I don't make the laws. I just obey them. Yeah. I'm catching up on the chat now. Where was I? There's a conversation happening outside my window one of my neighbors, I can hear a guy telling this woman that he has weak shins. I would never broadcast the weakness of my shins if I possessed such a problem. I would not share that vulnerability with the world or even a woman with whom I was intimate. Who can you trust with the information about the weakness of your shins? Why would you set yourself up for such a betrayal? He was like, "Oh yeah, I got, I got weak shins." And she's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." He's like, "Yeah, so there's certain things I don't do. I don't skate anymore." It's like, bro, you can still skate. Just improve your shin strength. The way to improve the strength of your shins is through dorsiflexion. Look it up, dorsiflecting. It's a real thing. Strengthen the muscles around your shin so that they are resistant to injury, and your foot flexion upward, your dorsiflexion, improves over time. This is just some of the information you get when you catch my streams. So please like the video. Oh, brother. All right. Get serious. As you can tell, I'm going for Rogue for her classic look with that big poofy 80s hair in the front, that Sarah Connor, Linda Hamilton coif. Wow, I gotta say, so this Strathmore paper, this is like their fanciest Bristol, and I gotta say, the way it eats the ink is pretty nice. It just really absorbs the ink. It's like, no question. No question that this one is like the highest quality. Like the way that the micron is just gliding over this page feels very, very nice, I have to say. We're nice, but we also play a drinking game where we keep track of how many times Ryan mentions he used to be a boxing coach. It doesn't count if you just say in the chat and then I repeat it. That doesn't count, so don't do a shot. Can I ask something, Ryan? Says Comic0209. I just noticed that your art is digital and stuff. I wondered what was your art software. I mostly use Procreate on the iPad. That's my main thing. I use Clip Studio on a big Huion sometimes, but more and more I just use Procreate on the iPad. It's my favorite thing in the world. I still have Clip on the iPad, which I also use, but the iPad and Procreate, for me, it just perfectly links with what I like to do. It says, because I use Krita and I have found that you were a little bit difficult for me to get used to. I would like to get better at it. Would you have any advice? Krita, I mean, I tried it. The Chrome brush is cool and everything, but it never really pulled me in the way it has with some people who just like fall in love with the Chrome brush. For me, I did it a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, I can still do this with my own pencils and relaxing and Procreate. Does anyone like Power Rangers? I used to like Power Rangers. I bet you're gonna find some other fans of it in the chat. Gigi says, now we know where to kick that guy when the inevitable neighborhood scuffle happens. Yeah, he's going down easy. Open your window and yell that to the neighbor. Like and subscribe for more shin protection exercises. That's true. It is a Strathmore Bristol 500. Very good, Eric. Mr. Detective Pants. Later, Artie. Comic says, I love the Terminator. I got my friend the first two films. He loves them. Oh, yeah, dude. Terminator 1 and 2. Terminator 2 especially is like one of my all-time favorite movies. Uh, Comic King 2009 says, I have heard some good things about Procreate, and I've heard that most of the softwares only have been about €13 a year. Well, that's much. Right. Well, Procreate is a one-time purchase. It's only $25, I think. And I mean, you got to get an iPad, but once you have that, it's just a one-time purchase. So in the end, I think it saves money, and it's great. You don't even need a brand new iPad. You can get like an older model, lightly used, and spend half as much on an iPad, and it'll be great. You've heard Photoshop's pretty decent. I haven't really used Photoshop in like 15 years, so I can't really speak to that. Ryan, who are your favorite artists, and what are your thoughts on anime and manga? Also, do you like Warhammer? There's some anime out there that I really, really love, that I think is brilliant. I don't know much. I don't know as much about it as some other people, but I do enjoy it for sure. I'm just like everybody else. I like a good manga or an anime just as much as the next guy. But I wouldn't say I'm an expert on it, but yeah, it's just, honestly, it's a lot like American comics, where some of it is brilliant, some of it is crap, but, you just like, the Japanese, I think, are geniuses with design. They're incredible at it. And I think they're telling some of the best stories right now. So yeah, I would say it's quite good. Or at least it can be. I actually have never, my real first exposure to Warhammer was this past year with the new Warhammer Space Marine game, and I really liked it. And I was like, I want to start reading some of the novels. Because after that, I started watching videos rather of like the Warhammer lore, and I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, Warhammer is really cool. So I may start reading the books soon. And like, if I can get some good audiobooks for it and some good recommendations to jump into that world, because I was really impressed with it. It's really cool. Who are my favorite artists? It varies day to day. Right now, I'm kind of obsessed with like Dan Warren Johnson, and I just fucked that up. Let me see if I can fix that. If not, I have to use whiteout to straighten that out. Okay, that's not so bad. I like Dan Warren Johnson a lot, but don't tell my buddy Dan Warren. No, he doesn't care. He knows he's good. But yeah, I like Dan Warren Johnson lately. I've been looking at a lot of his, especially as I've started working back on paper with ink. It's like looking at his work has been really inspirational. I also really like Jay Heron, who is a guy who's been around for a long time. I like Jorge Melonim. I forgot how his last name is even spelled, but Jorge Molina, maybe. He is also really, 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 really good. And he has a YouTube channel where you can watch him draw live, and it's incredible. All right, everybody. I gotta head out. I'm sorry. I gotta go pick up my wife from work, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. I'm sorry I wanted to catch up on the chat, but I got really focused, and now it's time to go. So I will see you guys next time.